Well, tonight, a child is in the hospital with major injuries after a car crashed into a daycare in Centerton during the school day. It happened just before 3 at the Little Martians Learning Center in Centerton. 5 News reporter Lauren Spencer was there as investigators sorted through the scene. She's learning more about what happened.
Centerton police rushed out to that learning center Wednesday afternoon after a driver crashed through the building.
It looks like it was possibly a parent or guardian of a child that goes to the learning center.
Centerton police say the driver drove into a classroom here at the daycare, and now there's crews working to pick up the debris that was left behind. You can see them pulling out drywall, pieces of wood, and bricks.
Message was sent out by the learning center to the parents, letting them know that their child was unharmed and to come pick up their children.
However, we know one child was taken to a nearby hospital with injuries, but police say they're in stable condition. Both the Centerton Police Department and the Benton County Sheriff's Office are now working to figure out what exactly caused the crash. Their accident reconstruction team was on scene trying to piece everything together.
They take photos, they take measurements of the whole accident scene once we had it taped off. And then the accident reconstruction team, along with our traffic unit, will determine the cause and details of what happened.
It was raining at the time of the crash, but police say they couldn't confirm if that played a role.
It's possible that weather was a factor. It's possible that distracted driving was a factor in this accident. So it's all preventable. Safer driving during inclement weather and making sure you're paying attention while you're behind the wheel.
In Centerton, covering news where you live, Lauren Spencer, 5 News.
Little Martians sent us this tonight, saying the center will be closed for the rest of the week. And they also say they're going to offer counseling services in the coming days. Now, flash flooding in Oklahoma has claimed 2 lives tonight. These are photos showing the flooding that happened with the slow-moving thunderstorms moved through the town of Lexington tonight. That's just south of Oklahoma City. Authorities there say 2 people died after their vehicles were caught in the flood waters. The storms have also caused widespread power outages in central Oklahoma that left tens of thousands of homes and businesses in the dark earlier today.
Some sad news there. It certainly was an active day here locally. This is a picture of the wall cloud as it moved through Bellefonte. That's in Sequoyah County. Brandon Wilson tracking this storm through Sequoyah County into Washington earlier. Decent amount of rotation. It also produced a funnel cloud. This as seen from Muldrow. This at the TJ's Burger Shop there. Sabrina Odom taking this photo. You can very clearly see that funnel cloud there. Didn't get a lot of damage reports earlier, but new this evening it does appear there could have been a little bit of damage near Aikens. That also in Sequoyah County. So as Paul Harvey would say, stand by for news. We'll see if we can't get some more information to pass along to you there. Overnight tonight, we're going to be largely dry, mostly cloudy skies for many of us. A couple of breaks here and there. Rain and thunderstorms continue across parts of south and central Arkansas. Overnight tonight, expect to drop into the upper 50s in northwest Arkansas, low 60s when you wake up tomorrow morning in the River Valley. Not a bad way to start off the day. It turns out to be a really pleasant afternoon. We do expect to reach into those low 80s in the River Valley. We'll get close to it in northwest Arkansas. Winds out of the south this evening, but they'll slowly but surely be turning out of the west as we see a weak boundary approach. In terms of what we're tracking, there's a few more things you're going to want to be aware of. There is that increasing potential. I've raised the odds for Friday rain, even some thunderstorms. Doesn't impact the whole day. We'll help you track that. It does shape up to be a really nice weekend. Meanwhile, as high pressure builds in, our temperatures likely going to start warming up pretty quickly. Your new 10-day forecast here in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Scott. Well, a former Benton County deputy was sentenced today after pleading guilty to stalking a coworker. Matthew Klein was arrested and charged with sexual assault in 2023 after inappropriate behavior was reported to the sheriff's office. They say Klein was fired less than 4 hours after the report. According to a probable cause affidavit, the assault was captured by a surveillance camera. After pleading guilty, Klein was sentenced to 120 days in jail, followed by 5 years of probation. And Washington County officials say they're seeing more crimes involving illegally modified firearms, and they're raising the alarm after a deadly shooting in Springdale on Tuesday. Springdale police say the gun allegedly used by Ashton Ballantyne in that shooting, which left one person dead and another injured, was a Glock 17 equipped with a switch. After turning himself in, police say Ballantyne led officers to the suspected weapon, and prosecutors say the device can turn a semi-automatic handgun into a fully automatic weapon. They add this case highlights a growing and dangerous trend.
Lock switches are something that a number of years ago, neither myself or anybody in the law enforcement community had heard of, but they are becoming more and more common, and that's troubling. In the 4 months I've been in office here, we've had a handful of arrests for clock switches. This is the first one that's been involved in a violent crime.
Prosecutors say formal charges have not been filed against Ballantyne, but they expect to do so by his arraignment on May 28th. Well, Randall Worcester was in Crawford County Court today. Prosecutors say Worcester was involved in an altercation with 2 former deputies in Mulberry back in 2022. Both deputies are serving prison sentences for that violent arrest, and Worcester himself is also charged in the altercation and facing several charges, including terroristic threatening and resisting arrest. Both of the former deputies pled guilty to depriving Worcester of his civil rights during the arrest. Today in court, he was given his jury trial date, June 23rd. His attorney is also waiting to receive the report for a competency exam that was done back in February to ensure he's fit to stand trial. The judge also said today that if a plea agreement can be worked out, the trial date will be replaced with a plea hearing. New at 10, a cancer survivor is crediting his love of tennis with helping him learn he had the disease. Maya Ellison introduces us to the Arkansas man who's still rallying through life one hurdle at a time.
Tennis it's a great escape from everything that goes on in the real world.
That's Rick O'Keefe's first love. It's also what led him to his better half.
And in 2018, he was a 4-0. And that's where I came into the picture.
Rick and Ellie have been inseparable ever since, even through one of the toughest moments of Rick's life.
I've hit a serve, and the person that returned the serve, I hit a backhand on his return, and my clavicle just snapped.
Rick immediately knew something was wrong.
The bone never healed, and it didn't look good on the X-rays. So we did an MRI, and it revealed that the bone looked cloudy, didn't look right. So they said it might be the C word, and I was like, what's the C word? It just didn't enter my mind it was cancer.
Further analysis led to his diagnosis, a tumor on his horseshoe kidney, an extremely rare condition.
October of 23, it was about the size of a racquetball, so a little smaller than a tennis ball. And then through the chemo for about 1.5 years, we got it small and got the tumor small enough, about the size of a golf ball.
That's when Ellie started a search for surgeons that specialize in Rick's condition.
And then I called Temple in Philadelphia, and that's where I got a live person who transferred me to another live person who happened to be the administrative assistant for Dr. Oon.
We were scheduled to go to Houston to get a consultation with a surgeon there that had worked on horseshoe kidneys, and a few days later we talked to Dr. Oon, and that's when we're like, we're going to Philly.
Just like that, a surgery was set up. But the day before, he wasn't taking things slow. He had one thing on his mind.
I wanted to play because I'm going under anesthesia. What if I never wake up?
Tennis kept him focused and resilient.
But in the end, we just knew that we could trust that God had this, no matter what.
This was Rick a day after his surgery, and 6 weeks of rest led him back on the court.
It's not how life shakes you, it's what you shake out of life.
That was Maya Ellison reporting. In other news, Fayetteville Public Schools held its celebration of excellence today. The event brings together hundreds of educators, students, and community partners to celebrate public education. The Fayetteville Public Education Foundation also announced more than $550,000 in scholarships and grants to fund special projects across the city's schools. More than $30,000 in scholarships were also awarded to 11 high school seniors from Fayetteville. Well, veterans from the River Valley are sharing their military memories for the largest oral history project in the country, including a World War II soldier. Senator John Bozeman's staff did interviews today at the Fort Chaffee Barbershop Museum for the Library of Congress. It's part of the Veterans History Project, an initiative to preserve the personal stories of veterans. Among those they spoke to today, 97-year-old Jock Davis, a World War II Army engineer who enlisted at 17 and says sharing his story helps keep history alive.
As we approached the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, they blew a whistle and all the troops came on deck. And everybody on the bridge was single, no cars, American flags, bullhorns saying, "We'll love you, we're glad you back home." And every soldier, there were 600 on the ship, every one of them was crying. We were so happy to be home.
More than 100,000 veterans have documented their military experiences as part of this project. The interviews are housed in the Library of Congress archives.